My Muslim husband was quietly puzzled, curious about the subtle but undeniable shift in me. He noticed how I had become more emotionally present, more engaged in our marriage, and more nurturing in my ways. It wasn't sudden, but intentional. I began to truly see him again, not just as my partner, but as someone I deeply appreciated. I started acknowledging the small, everyday acts of love he offered, the warm cup of coffee he'd hand me in the morning, his quiet patience when I needed to talk, and even the way he'd wait for me before starting dinner. Where I once overlooked these things, I began responding with heartfelt gratitude. That shift, from taking for granted to intentionally thanking, softened the atmosphere between us. Our days began to feel lighter, warmer, more connected. Embracing the art of communication. One of the most profound changes came from learning to communicate differently. Rather than bottling up my emotions or letting resentment brew in silence, I chose vulnerability. I started expressing my feelings calmly, honestly, and without blame. Surprisingly, instead of conflict, our conversations deepened. Misunderstandings turned into moments of intimacy. He was taken aback, not just by what I said, but how deeply we connected. This transformation was largely inspired by a book I read called Love and Mercy. It taught me how communication, rooted in compassion, could bridge even the quietest gaps between two hearts. Motivated by this new understanding, we began carving out time for one another. Weekly date nights and spontaneous day trips became part of our rhythm. During those moments, we set aside our phones, our schedules, and focused entirely on each other. What we found wasn't something new, it was something we had almost forgotten: the joy of rediscovering one another, the beauty of growing side by side, and the sacredness of truly being together.